This is a Bandit Radio production.
Long enough to cover the subject and short enough to keep it interesting. Welcome to Outta My League, presented by Bandit Radio. I'm Nick Diaz. The bell has been rung. The end is inevitable. Sunday is the beginning of Drew Brees' last hurrah with the New Orleans Saints. And before I go any further, this should not be news to any of you, because Drew Brees told Sean Payton before the season he was going to retire, and then a week later after the Pro Bowl changed his mind. This has been reported. Drew Brees, a year ago, signed a contract with NBC Sunday Night Football as a commentator. This has also been reported. Emotionally, prepare yourself for the goodbye, because any moment from this point on could be the last time you see Drew Brees. For the past decade, Drew Brees and the Saints have experienced humiliating, historically bad losses with blown calls and miracle endings, one after the other. They have suffered more than any fan base in the NFL or all of pro sports because they have been so close, yet felt so far away. No apathy, just pure misery, because they have been so good, yet fallen so short. But I was thinking, you know what this reminds me of? This kind of reminds me of the 2019 LSU offense with Joe Burrow. Now, how was that? Well, if you remember at the beginning of the season, there were stages of tests that the LSU offense had to pass because there were doubters. So people said, okay, first game they played Georgia Southern, let's see how it looks. Well, it looked a lot different, up-tempo, fast pace, spread concepts, throw the ball around, scored a lot of points. Everyone's like, oh, okay, but let's see them do it against a Power 5 team. So then they go on the road to Texas, and it looks really good against Texas. 3rd and 17, the whole bit. Everyone's like, okay, but Texas has a terrible defense. It's a Big 12 defense. Let's see how they do against a real SEC defense. And then they play Florida, and then they win. And everyone's like, okay, but see, they've been undefeated going into the Bama game before. Let's see how they do against Nick Saban. They'll probably go back to the same old LSU once they play Alabama. And then the rest is history. They had passed the test that their offense hadn't passed in previous years. This is the journey the New Orleans Saints are about to embark on, because the past several years the Saints have been butchered by tests in the playoffs. And the first one of these tests is they have underachieved against mediocre quarterbacks. Let me read you a list. This is the Drew Brees, Sean Payton era. In the Drew Brees, Sean Payton era, these are the quarterbacks that have all eliminated the Saints from the playoffs. 2006, Rex Grossman. 2010, Matt Hasselbeck. Alex Smith, 2011. Russell Wilson, 13. Case Keenum. Then Jared Goff. Then Kirk Cousins, the last 3 years. All but one of those, Russell Wilson, are mediocre quarterbacks. Now, Russell Wilson at the time was considered a very mediocre quarterback, at least average, because he didn't have to carry the Seattle Seahawks. They were run the ball, play defense. But now, very different. But at the time, very average. So Sunday, the Saints are a 10-point favorite against Mitchell Trubisky. God, that even sounds like an average dude. But this is it. This is the first test. This is the last ride of Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. It's here. Let the test begin. Thanks for listening to Outta My League. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, or follow me on Twitter at @TheNickDiaz.